We're working on the grocery tracker project. We using a tech stack with Python, Fast API, HTMX, and SQLite. Right now it's all just localized as a demo. We did run into a lot of challenges with this, where the motivation is, trying to help people find food locally, geographically convenient, and what the pricing is. John and I were working on it together. What are the pain points that were driving the project? Food deserts, time-consuming price comparison, hopping site to site, also finding dietary specific items for people that have specific needs. How do we identify foodstuffs? We've got the stuff out here, but we're not quite to the point of AI just being able to say a banana's a banana. The two major pieces are PLUs and UPCs. PLUs are what you see stuck to the fruits and vegetables. So basically all fruits and vegetables have a sort of coating on them. I didn't know until I worked on this. Hello? Okay. That they actually had, there was a lot of meta context in the PLUs. In terms of, and some, like starting with the 8 is apparently not so adhered to. Let's see. Then UPCs are basically the barcodes you see, but there's not direct, easy comparisons. Yes, you can have a can of corn, but from the UPC point of view, those are two different things. So identifying it has to go out to something like barcode lookup or whatnot to then pull down contextual information to make a comparison. Data sources. How do we get the data for the back end of this? APIs, there are some out there, not many. Site scraping, physical scanning, and crowdsourcing. Some grocery chains just sit on their pricing like a hen sitting on eggs. They're not going to share it unless you go into the store. Publix is one of those. They seem to be very, very close to their chest on that. Walmart, it appears to be available, but you have to be a corporate partner to get that information. Food City has no API to speak of. Oh, we're missing one. I'll just say Kroger actually has a pretty solid API that is fairly friendly and fairly open. Site scraping, you can get it to work, but I used to work for a CDN, and one of our biggest products lines was web application firewalls to prevent and stop site scraping. So that, it's far from guaranteed. Okay, Food City, actually, I looked at what they were producing. It does look like it could be scraped. There is a certain amount of XML structure it uses internally to build its pages that have keys and have some structured data that I think could be peeled out readily. The other option is physical scanning, going in and scanning the PLUs and UPSs. Yeah, you could go in with a cell phone, with an app, and scan them. A lot of labor involved, volunteer work. How many people would be volunteered to do that? Automated systems, if I rolled through with something like Google Earth, might cause some problems. Robots, Wall-E, maybe? Crowdsourcing. This was suggested by other people, getting community involved somehow to scan or upload shopping receipts. Because once you get that receipt in your hand, they can't really claim that they have control of that data. It's your receipt. One step, appeal to it's for the general good. It'll help out other people in the community. Is there some way to gamify this? Is there some way to make it a competition? I don't know. Somehow give financial rewards, coupons, micropayments for scanning. You know, it's hard to say. There are a lot of hurdles to that. And then I think, so what we have so far is the front end and a live demo, which is, as I said, SQL-Lite based, and I will turn it over to John.
All right, so what we managed to get done, we did it with, I was using Windsurf. So if you've ever used it, it looks a lot like Visual Studio Code because it was forked from Visual Studio Code. Let's see here. This one. What we've got, I just made a front end mainly to just activate the functions within the site. And so I put a section in for products and a section in for the stores. And so I went to Google Maps. I asked, hey, give me a list of all the stores, took that, exported it, brought it into this data set. And for fun, I just put a thing where you can do a quick search or whatever, limit it down. Then if you go to the products, we imported those PLUs. And so those PLUs, you can get it, I probably should link to the source that I got them from, but they filled in this data set, and then the intersection between the two is basically the price of the product. So at each store, you may contain one or more of any given product. And this view was like a first shot attempt at just like showing like the lowest price. Now, obviously, he mentioned all the struggles to get prices, so a lot of this is just kind of filled in. And as you have the correct prices, you would swap them out. And so that's the gist of this here. And so then as we would continue on, there would be things like comparing against a subset of the stores instead of all the stores of Chattanooga. So that's what we got here. So here's the bananas, for example. So this is on GitHub if you want to take a look.
Nice. Cool. Awesome.